Hi everybody, welcome to week 12. As you can see, I'm home with a sick girl today. So I wanted to still do a video and talk about this week's work because we are building up to almost the end of class. So a couple of things just to keep in mind. I posted some instructions on Blackboard last night about your peer review. If you have any trouble figuring out how it's supposed to work or who your partner is or where to find the review sheet or anything, please let me know. Hopefully it's all really straightforward for you. So this is my advice to you in terms of your sort of timing for this week, because you have your lit review work and then the new content for this week, and then we'll talk a little bit about looking ahead to next week. So what I would recommend is that you start with the lit review, and what you need to do is post your lit review draft into the discussion forum there, and then figure out who your partner is, download their draft, and read through it thoroughly. There is a rubric in that assignment place in the week 12 activities that you can walk through to give them some feedback. But I would also encourage you to think about what other questions you have about your lit review, and you can post those and say to your partner, hey, could you look at the introduction? I'm not sure I did it right, or could you look at the way that I did this and get some specific feedback. You also might, as you look through their paper, see some things that are not covered in the rubric, but you think it'd be really helpful for them to think about. So that rubric is just sort of a place to start the feedback. It's not I want you to give them really useful, helpful feedback. So once you've posted your lit review draft in there and then read your partners and given them feedback, then you can start working on the next version of your lit review that's due April 22nd. But as I mentioned in the announcement, you'll have your feedback from your partner. You'll have feedback from me. I'm going to try to get it to you as soon as I can. We have some faculty members who are out of town this week for a distance education conference, so it's a little bit of a busy week here, but I'm prioritizing this because I want you to have feedback as soon as you can. And then I would also recommend that at some point in this process, you reach out to Lynn Houston at the Writing Center, and I included her email in that announcement I sent last night, and get some feedback from her as well. And anybody else, I think it's really important to send our work out and get as much feedback as we can. That's what I do with everything that I write before it goes out. So once you're done with that, the other part of this week's work that is new content is reading about data collection and analysis. My cat has joined us too. We're all here today. And data collection and analysis. Yeah. Data collection and analysis is not something that you'll actually get a chance to practice this semester, but you'll talk about it more when you take 591, which is the second half of research. And it's also something you're going to see talked about in the articles that you're reading. So I think this content will be helpful for that. So you're going to read, it's chapter 16 in the newest edition or chapter 14 in the old edition about data collection. And there is a quiz that's connected to that. And there's also a couple of other chapters in there that you're going to read about data analysis. And there's no quiz on that. That's just to give you a sense of sort of what that process looks like. And again, we'll talk about that more next semester. This is just to give you sort of the foundation for that. There's also 3 chapters scheduled in the PAN reading, and that's really about writing a literature review, revising a literature review, and sort of doing the final touches, the reference list, the bits and pieces of it. And so I really want you to look at that reading out of the PAN book. It's not something that anybody's ever going to test you on, but hopefully that's a really helpful resource for you in writing your literature review. And so that's really what you have to do this week. So the literature review stuff and then the new content stuff. I don't feel like I explained that in a super linear manner. She's been sick for a couple of days. I haven't slept very much. And then looking ahead to next week. So if you celebrate Passover or Easter next weekend, happy Passover, happy Easter. And so I've extended the deadline for everything that's due next week until April 22nd. But I know that we're getting close to the end of the semester. If you want an extra day or two for something, you should certainly reach out and let me know. The only thing I want you to keep in mind is that our final exam is the sort of the week after that. Our sort of everything for the semester is supposed to be in by the 29th. And so I'm certainly happy to talk about an extra day or so here or there for the literature review, but then that's going to take time away from working on your final exam. So just keep that in mind. And I know the final exam can bring up lots of stress. Remember that the final exam is only 10% of your overall grade in the course. The lit review is substantially more than that. So in terms of prioritizing, I would definitely prioritize the lit review. And we'll talk a little bit next week about what you can do to prep for the final exam. But just looking ahead to next week, the assignments that will be due Monday the 22nd. So the assignments that are due, I think that's 2 weeks from today, right? Yeah, 2 weeks from today are your final draft of the lit review. There's an extra credit quiz that's due that day. And then your e-poster presentation, which is essentially just practicing presenting material in another way. So you're going to take the same information that you presented in your literature review and you're going to present it in a poster format. And then the last week of class, you'll give each other feedback on that. So your takeaway from this video should be that I'm very tired. Your takeaway from this video should be that this week is your chance to get feedback from me and your partner and anybody else who would be useful for you on your literature review before you write the final draft. And to please, please, please reach out if you have any questions about the new content this week around data collection and analysis, which is something that we haven't at all talked about yet. So if you have questions about it, I want to know. And to sort of look ahead to your calendar, and I would definitely block out some chunks of time wherever you can this week and next week to work on that lit review, and the week after that to study for your final exam, and then the semester will be over before you know it. So thank you everybody so much for your hard work this week. I'm going to be home with this one today, but I'm around on email and happy to jump on a phone call if you have questions. I am covering some extra classes for those folks who are out of town, so my schedule during the day is a little tight the rest of this week, but again, I'm happy to figure out a time to meet in whatever way works for you, or, work on things via email. Just stay in touch and let me know what I can do to help. Oh my goodness. So thank you very much. Do you want to say goodbye?
No.
No, we're not going to say goodbye. All right. Thanks. Thank you all. Bye-bye.